My first question is just based on, your predictions that we need to get this done. What do you think the time frame is before we see a negative reaction from the markets and a possibility of further downgrades from the credit rating agencies?
First, let me say I'm obviously not part of the rating agencies, so I have no particular inside information.
Right.
I read what they say, and so this is my interpretation of the perspective coming from the rating agencies. Obviously there's a lot of uncertainty here. I don't know for sure, but this is my guess based on experience. And I do think that people outside the Beltway have a lot more faith in you than you do, that there will not be a reaction, a negative reaction, because we can even go into next year. And by the way, I would counsel not coming up. I would not come up with a deal unless it's a really good deal before the end of the year. I would take it into next year if that means you're going to get a better deal, a deal to solve the three fiscal issues that I brought up in my.
So what you're saying is a deal that really doesn't mean much probably wouldn't help us.
It would not be helpful. And if you read what the rating agencies say, to avoid a downgrade of the U.S. Treasury debt, we need something that's pretty close to fiscal sustainability. You have to get to my $3 trillion.
Ratio that you're talking about.
Because if you read what they say, they say that if we fall short of that, we got a problem.
Do you think this is a wise course? I think we've all talked about that we have to have these spending cuts in that $2.2 trillion we're talking about. Plus, we can get $700 billion, which I support by simply go back to the Clinton levels over 250,000. Do you agree with his assessment?
I'm not sure I exactly got it right.
His assessment was that we have to look at tax rates, that we should look at raising tax rates on the wealthiest instead of just saying we should look at deductions and loopholes.
Oh, I think we need to do both. I mean, to get to my 1.4, if you're going down my path, we need both. There's no way to get to that number with tax reform alone if you consider that we're not going to take away charitable deduction, and if your goal is not to raise taxes from lower and middle income households. So if it's the folks that are in the top bracket, the 250K plus, then there's no way to do the arithmetic. And there's a lot of good ways of doing reform, a lot of good proposals, but there's no good way of doing it to raise that kind of revenue. So we need to do both. We need tax reform and we need higher tax rates on upper income households.